And hello everybody, it's I, Roguescaper. Welcome to the stream, the Monday night stream, mixing things up a bit. I just have a lot of stuff to paint, so I'm trying to shove in some extra days. And today worked out. Ignore my slightly disrupted studio. I'm still in the process of cleaning up from ScapeCon. So it's, if there's a skew storage containers in the back bother you, I do deeply apologize. In case you haven't noticed, today is a sponsored stream from Wargame Trader. It is a great website. Plan on listing the thing I'm painting on here today on the site. They sent over Sonlen for me to paint live. It's one of two big Heroscape figures they sent from the same box, and I'll be painting the other one. I painted that one in the separate stream. Once they're finished, I'll be listing the painted versions on wargametrader.com, so someone in the community can pick them up directly through the site. Many of you probably already know Wargame Trader from the Heroscape community. It's a marketplace like eBay, but specialized for wargames like Heroscape. I have sold pre-painted minis there myself, and other artists, players, and local game stores are selling there too. For sellers, the big thing is that it's much easier to list minis than on a general marketplace. Wargame Trader has a standardized catalog of over 28,000 products, so you can quickly pull up the right item, choose the conditions and details, and list it without building everything from scratch. That also helps with better pricing data because listings are tied to specific products. They support Heroscape, Warhammer, D&D, HeroClix, BattleTech, and a whole lot of other tabletop miniature games. The seller fee is also 6.5% flat, which is less than half of eBay's. So if you're buying or selling Heroscape, painted minis, replacement figures, or other tabletop models, check out wargametrader.com. And definitely keep an eye out for Sonlen after the stream. Got some news. Well, that's exciting to hear. What's the news, pray tell? We're putting up Sonlen. I think I'm going to be doing a Icy Dragon look for it. Thanks to Nakatha for suggesting it. I really like the idea of it. And, I really just don't want to paint another red Sonlen. I already have red Sonlen. And I figure if someone's going to be purchasing this, they might want something a little bit different. We are using, as our first layer, dark gray blue from Pro Acryl. It's a nice, just really great tone for building up our icy blues over it. I asked my girlfriend to marry me, and she said yes, and I am moving to where she lives. That is exciting. I'm proud of you. And best luck in that regard. Send me your send me your registry. I'll see what I can do about that. At the very least, I can send a card your way. But that's exciting. And we just did a little prime of this right here. Just to give us a little bit of easy highlights and shadows. And Custom, have you received the Zedians that I gave to Bowtie Jones? The guards themselves didn't have bases. I will be sending the bases separate for you. I just did not have time at ScapeCon to get them glued properly. This is going to throw my whole week off here doing a Monday stream. Although I might start doing a little bit more. Typically I have kind of Mondays off, and I think on the road to annihilation, the road to the end of annihilation, you know, we need to pick up some slack here. I'm so excited for the new stuff coming out. Like, it's just I don't mind that it was delayed a little bit though, because I do have just a lot of stuff to finish up. Another user asked me to paint a bunch of Kyrie. I'm currently of the undead Kyrie, so I'm currently making my way through that. I am finishing up the elites I painted last stream, I believe. They're getting there, slowly but surely. They're not my favorite model, but we are getting paint on them. And today we are painting Sonlen. That was given to me by Wargame Trader. As mentioned before in the copy, I will be listing this for sale on Wargame Trader once I kind of get all the fine details tonight. Probably tonight will be a shorter stream, as we just will mainly focus on Vesila's body right here. Vesila being the dragon. I have to record my EscapeCon retrospective, as well as some battle reports. I just have a whole backlog of footage that is that is piling up. I was outside for about 9 hours today in 100-degree heat, so bear with me if I seem a little brain fried. My brain hasn't fully caught up with my mouth yet. And this like gray blue is going to act as the shadows for when we get to the much brighter colors. We're keeping our paint pretty thin as we don't want to clog up all the details on these scales here. The first one I painted, I was a little too harsh on the scales. I was trying to force it to happen, just trying to kind of get it done. And I clogged up a lot of this small detail. And I actually bought another one just to restart over. It was so messed up, and I gave that one to a friend. I do like painting snow things. That's kind of like snow ults are kind of becoming my staple for EscapeCon. I did a snow Halushia as one of the prize table prizes. I mean, not Halushia, Haluchat. And I don't know. It's just I like the cool colors a lot more. The Snow Kitty is still one of the favorite things I've done for. Well, yeah, that was a long time ago. We think about how long like Age of Annihilation has been out, and it's we're like going on 3 years at this point. It feels like an end of an era, like we're on the edge of it. I do want to do a big look back at the goods and the bads of Age of Annihilation. I'd say in terms of other Heroscape YouTubers, I'm a pretty positive outlook overall. All the Heroscape that's been released, with some minor just critiques and things that I think they're aware of. You know, I don't really want to beat a horse. I really just want to like. One, it's just amazing that we got this game in hand and that we still get updated stuff. You know, it's not to be understated that this is a complex game to produce, and they somehow were able to produce it in color. You know, for those who maybe don't like painting, I don't understand that mindset, but Can't wait to see the. Oh yeah, the Zedians. Yeah, they're pretty cool. I kind of almost didn't want to give them away. Kind of like the look of them. Definitely next time you rock them, they'll catch the eye. Almost looks like Toothless like this here. My headphones ran out of battery, so I have no music, so I am just doing this with the sound of my own voice. It's going to be a little bit harder to reach that flow state, but I'll be getting there. So I want to get a bunch of the ninja bikes and paint them up to be a different color for each general out there. Ooh, that's a really fun idea. Kind of like how all the ninjas have their respective general. Now that's a really cool idea. I'm looking to do like a really cool glowing Tron cycle for some of them. There's just a lot of fun things to do. Maybe some old, like, degraded ones, and just some in the classic colors. Like, painting vehicles is like a whole different mindset. And there's a lot you can do in terms of, like, texture and chipping and rust and decals. And, like, there's just a lot of fun stuff you can do on a vehicle that's sometimes hard to do on a model. The ninjas are going to be great. Yeah, I'm working my way through all the commons now. I am suffering a bit of a common fatigue. I'm just kind of... I want to paint something long and nice, but I just don't have the time. Like, Thorman's just sitting there waiting for me. We'll be doing I'm hoping to be doing some Thorman streams soon. Maybe like a whole week of Thorman. If we can get to it. I will be going out of town to California in a little bit, so there may be a break from streams just for a week. I'll be up in the Sequoias capturing Ewoks and looking at Jurassic Park dinosaurs. This is your first time seeing Sonlen's dragon all grown up? Well, yeah, he's supposed to be red, but I don't want to paint red today. Right, it's like kind of a balancing act, because it can either get too orangey or too yellow or too pink. I'm just kind of not in the mood to do that today. Someone suggested a nice ice dragon, so I'm kind of going with that. They also suggested doing Toothless, which I thought was pretty nice as well. Here's my version. If you'll allow me to grab it for a second. Here's my version. I just felt like Sonlen is Ular and he should be green. I just like the green on this model a whole lot, but I wanted just to mix it up a bit. Dragonite, I choose you. Yeah, the fear of saturation. It's more like the fear of hue and tone. It's just like getting that right shading on red is always kind of difficult for me. Not as much as orange. I'd say orange is probably my toughest color to work with. I think the key to doing orange is just doing like inks or speed paints, because it's such a, it's like working with pretty much yellow. But it's just I haven't cracked the orange fully yet where I'm happy with it. Dragonite, I choose, yeah, Dragonite would be fun. He would be a tough scheme to paint on this guy though, I think. Just because I can never really find that right shade of like orangish that Dragonite has. Yeah, I painted my Deflectortrons like in the blue and white scheme of the Omnicrons. I'm pretty happy with that. Right now, it looks like a big sloppy mess. But don't worry, this is just our first layer. See, if I didn't want to show you how I was doing this, I would just airbrush this part, which would save me a whole bunch of time. But it's honestly not that hard if you can keep your brush moving. Shiny Dragonite, I can't tell if Shiny Dragonite is a good color or a bad color. Matching that puke green will be a struggle, but we could get there. Ouch. Yeah, I actually played a game, Heroscape game, this Sunday. Me and my son, it was a team game. Me and my son beat my dad and my brother-in-law. We all had like 350 points each in our army. And my son was on a tear with Thyraxis. He got like 3 frenzies in a row. He never actually got any Chittering Madness though, but he didn't really need it. My brother-in-law really loves the samurai, even though the samurai always betray him. Like, he's maxed out on defense, and he's whiffing like 6 or 7 dice when I whiff my attack rolls. And my dad just always wants to play the big figure. This time I actually made him play Cobra Troopers. I wanted to give him something good. He just gets kind of impatient when he plays. He just does not have enough patience to sit down for the full game and play it out. But thankfully we got rid of him fast. One, because the Cobra Troopers are kind of a threat. He was on a tear with them, but we were able to, me and my son were able to get rid of him. Yeah, it's nice to be, well, the con and event season was fun. That's kind of why I've honestly been a little absent. It's been taking a bit of my time, just between online games, online tournaments, various alliance wars, EscapeCon. I've just been kind of busy actually playing the game. So it's good to be back. I think after this vacation we should be back into a more regular stream of production, which will be nice. I know I keep on saying that, but I think we will actually be getting there. There's just always something to paint that kind of gets in the way of me doing things. It's like by the time I get some stuff filmed and about ready to edit it, like all the whole new next lot of Heroscape drops, and it's hard for me to keep up. But I'm glad that they're just like slowing down. Just not like slowing down, but like doubling up on the same thing in a pack actually makes it pretty easier. It's because then you just kind of have it all. You can get those 2 boxes done in one sitting and move on with your life. I've been talking to myself for a bit. I think my audio cut out, so apologize for that. Hello, hello. Okay, we're back in, I think. Did I ever finish the fish? Oh, the gallery? Kind of like, at the end, I just kind of put some paint on them. They're all painted. I won't say they're all painted well, but I did get a lot of them done. Not all of them are based. That's kind of like a job for another day, but that one stream I was doing where I just was having people suggest the colors, I kind of knocked them out that day. I think it was like 6 squads worth. 5 squads, I don't know. It's a lot of fish people. What color should I make these spines? I could either make them like just I might just make them a different shade of blue. I think I'll make them like a bright blue compared to this bright white we'll be going to. Just to really kind of tie it all in together. Maybe. I almost want to give Sonlen a blue coat. Almost kind of like, what if Sonlen joined Jandar kind of scheme is what I'm going for here. Just for something different. What are your thoughts on the green eyes and horns on the big dragon? And the pre-painted, they're okay. I don't like the shade of yellow they used. I feel like it's a little diminutive, but they're okay. I wish his horns kind of were bigger and grew apart from his head a bit more as like kind of like curled horns, like ram horns almost. But they're okay. They're inoffensive, I'd say. I like the big eyes because you can really do some fun stuff when you're painting like the pupils. It's a lot more to work with. And yellow eyes are pretty easy to do. I just don't like that they made him red because Sonlen's dragon is orange. Hello, Billy Rager. Hope you're doing well today. I am doing well as well. I'm a little sun-fried today, but I'm good. We're doing our first Monday stream, so we're going to see how this works and see if this is a good time for people. It's a good time for me, for the most part. I usually just kind of sit around Mondays painting, so I figure I might as well do my job as a content creator and actually make content while I do things. But I feel actually pretty good. Maybe it's because I chugged 12 ounces of coffee before this, but feeling all right. I did lounge around for like 2 hours after I got off work today, mainly just because I had no energy to move. I described myself as a raisin when I got home. You know, let's see how this this blue cape will look on Sonlen. Maybe it'll be kind of. We want to go like a dark blue, more greenish. No, let's do more like an ultramarine. Let's do something really funky with them. Works until Sunday with no days off, so there's always something going on for you. Yeah, that's tough. I think you work at the fast food complex. Yeah, I did that. I used to work the night shift at Taco Bell, which was nice. It's better than working the day shift when I had to work that. But it wasn't nice when I had to get up for 6 in the morning for classes the next day. And we're using an ultramarine from Pro Krill just to kind of see if we want to really go with these bright, vibrant colors. If we don't, it honestly would be as a good transition point to kind of more of a black color, but I'm kind of liking this. I think this will look really nice. My camera is starting to fall down, so let me readjust if you allow that. There we go. It's hard painting a live stream. I have like I have like 3 wires coming out of me. I'm monitoring two lenses. I can barely focus on one thing at the same time. I think if I keep on painting winter-themed things, maybe I will bring in colder weather is the mindset here. I got some tricky curves to catch. We probably won't go too much further as we will be doing a lot of dry brushing for this dragon. There's just a lot of tough areas on this model. It's not the most accessible of parts. Honestly, going back, I probably would have primed this whole thing just black so I could hide things I don't paint a lot better. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers. I'm excited for that. The big 4 digits will be nice to get to. We'll definitely be having some giveaways, some special stuff. Any ideas for a big 1,000 subscriber video I should make? I have some things I'm cooking, but I'd love some feedback in that regard. Take a little bit of burnt red and mix it in with this blue, just for some really deep shading here. Kind of a very darkish purpley red. And we'll just do that for some of the deepest shadows. This will give it a little bit of depth when we start layering up the white. Need to send this giveaway stuff they have for me. If you want to create good shadows for your model, use the opposite color and with your base color and mix them together, and you can create some really more interesting shadows compared to just using a darker version of the color you're using. There's just some really interesting curves on this guy. I wish Sonlen could be detached for sure. And we're taking our brush and we're feathering these shadows just so they blend a bit better with this base color already applied. And let us not forget the inside of the wings, which I very well could do. Why should I make the armor? Back and forth on that. You know what, let's do like a turquoise for the spines, just to see. Really want them to feel icy and cold. Yeah, it's gonna look really good with white. We'll probably have to touch this up, but I'm more just doing a previs right now. Trying to see if I even like it. When I do light and shadow work, I tend to pick colors that are complementary to each other. So the light would be yellow and the shadow would be darker purple, for example. Miniature painting, you need a lot more contrast. Just to make its presence a lot more visible. Like, complementary colors work very well, but it's since the miniature is often so far away from where you look at it, you really want to do strong contrast for a bigger impact. But your art's pretty good, so I'll take a few pages from your handbook too. Wayward, well, that's Katura Vining is my sister, and she does a lot of the art for my shirts and stickers I give away. So, you know, she definitely knows what she's talking about. Fellow artists, we bounce ideas off each other here. Welcome, Tails, and all the great people in the chat. Yeah. Do I just want to do metallic armor? Do I want... I really like this turquoise blue. I think that's going to translate really well. All right, let's start building up. Some midtones here. We're going to take some light blue gray, mix it with our dark gray, and we're just going to kind of start sketching values. Really looking for where the light would hit while trying to preserve some of these deep shadows here. Going to look a little messy. We're going to kind of hone this in with each layer. Really want to make the Deathwalker 10,000 glow from the chest, but don't know how to do that. All that really comes down to, the easiest way is to paint the whole center white and then just add a fluorescent paint to it. Like, there's a paint type called fluorescent, which is just high volume of pigments. And if you do this thinly over white, it'll give it a glow. You can even take that a bit further by adding, some of that contrasting color. So you can go from like red to yellow and keep the layers thin and blend them together. And you'll be able to get some really strong effects. Maybe that's something I can look more into. Because it's something very similar to like the Hellforge. The easiest way is just airbrush it, but not everyone has one of those. But it's not hard. I've been messing a lot with glowing effects. Really, there's two components to glowing effects, and that's contrast of your colors, a white center, and reflective lighting on the metals. I guess it's three. But yeah, I've been playing with Deathwalker 10K online, and he's really fun. He is a menace if he can if he can roll right. He's the ultimate let's go gambling character. You're way down. I just see the camera gradually descending, getting closer. It's like, wait, why do I have no more room to paint? No, I have to do this other side that I didn't do. I always, sometimes, my problem I do is sometimes I just paint things for the picture. So I like just think of the finished picture. So I will put a lot of effort onto whatever angle I plan on doing, and then I will kind of forget the rest. And that's a problem. You should not do that. Paint your whole model at once, because it's harder to go back and do everything you're doing at the same time. We're definitely going to keep our paint thin, like this slightly transparent consistency. Again, we do not want to clog up these layers. We're not too worried about the individual scales yet. We're looking more for the larger parts of the model that we're wanting to bring out. if you struggle with lighting, first off, on your models, definitely like take a picture of it in pure black, and then put like a lamp like this and shine it directly above it, and you'll be able to kind of take a picture of that. You'll be able to kind of see where the light should go. And I do just want to give a quick reminder that this stream is sponsored by Wargame Trader. They sent over Sonlen for me to paint today, and once it's finished, I will be listing this painted version on wargametrader.com. I have sold pre-painted minis there myself, and a bunch of other Heroscape players, artists, and local game stores are selling there too. Wargame Trader is built for tabletop minis with quick listings from a standardized catalog of over 28,000 products, useful pricing data, and a 6.5% flat seller's fee. That's less than half of eBay's. So if you're buying or selling Heroscape or other tabletop models, please check out wargametrader.com, and the link is in the description for that. And as mentioned before, this guy will be going up for sale on there. So if you're wanting to snag this admittedly unfinished model for yourself, he will be finished when he's listed. Then definitely check it out. I think we need a little bit more of this. Now we're just using the unmixed light blue-gray. And we're being a bit more selective. We're going to be dry brushing over all this, but this is going to give us a nice blend underneath when we do so. Think. I need to sell stuff at Wargame Trader too, so backlogged. Trust me, Tails. I feel that. I am swimming in miniatures right now. This right here, this is just extra stuff I have on hand that I'll get to eventually. Where's my... This is Age of Annihilation stuff I have to finish before I even... Well, not this guy, he's stuck in there, but everything else is stuff I have to finish before August. No, I feel... I'm going to die a ghost and become a ghost because my backlog, I will have unfinished business. No, they're a good company. Definitely check them out. They're really good for selling or buying. Especially if you like, let's say you need like 5 squads of snakes, and you don't need 5 squads of elites, because realistically the most you'll ever be able to have in an army is 3. It's a good place to get rid of them, because I know a lot of people are looking for the elites, but they just don't want to invest so much. They want to buy them separately, or vice versa for the Ranox. Is that stuff for sale? This which stuff? The big box of stuff. Most of it's just my stuff I have to get finished. Honestly, it's just my own personal commons. The 3D print stuff it's kind of it's available. I'm pretty backed up on commissions currently. So commissions aren't currently open until I clear a little bit more space. I currently have another 4 squads of Remnants to paint after my initial squads, and what else? I have a Halushia to paint. I got some things floating around. I still got to finish your Skodire. He's almost done. He's kind of in development. I wanted to do a good job of him, so I did not rush to get him done for ScapeCon. It's just spending a bit more time on him for you. You know what? I think the big bone for the 1,000 subscribers that people want, if I get 1,000 subscribers, I will make the How to Paint Mara video. That is the goal there. I said it here. I will make that video because I've been asked for that video so much, and I just kind of keep pumping it off. So 1,000 subscribers, I will make the How to Paint Mara video. Oh, yeah, I do have, like, somehow end up with, like, 3 extra, so, yeah, I mean, you can message me, we could look to add that to your order. That shouldn't be too hard to do. Get the whole frosty, I painted, like, a snow Kita and a snow Onshu, and they look pretty cool. See, we're just kind of sketching out our little guy here. Now we're taking very thin down dark blue, and we're just starting to blend these colors together just a bit. So lots of water. And we're making some of these shadows a little bit less harsh. I'm almost tempted to keep him just blue because he's looking pretty good as blue, but we're going to go white. "1,000 subs will happen, just a matter of time." That's true. We're getting there. Me and Tails are on the road. Definitely, if you haven't subscribed to Tales of Valhalla, give him a sub. And give a Custom Scaper a sub, too. If you're in the chat and looking for some good channels. Alright, great stream, Rogue. I'm gonna go listen to Pump Up Drawing Jams. Good night. Alright, have fun listening to, like, Pavarotti. Is that what you listen to? What gets you pumped up for painting? If I wasn't streaming right now, I've been listening to the Dungeon Crawler Carl books while I paint, or watch Mad Men, which I really like. It's a pretty good show. I know I'm late to tell everyone that. It's about 15 years too late, but it's a pretty good show. It's a very well-written focal show. And I'm really into, like, advertisement and, like, design. So it hits that niche for me. Alright, let's mix a little bit of white blue in with our light gray blue, and just adding some very subtle highlights. We're of course going to dry brush all this and blend it down. What I'm doing right now is called undercoating. I'm pretty much creating a bit of variation for when I dry brush it so it doesn't look too flat. Yeah, no, it's pretty fun. It made me cry, so, you know. They had this one scene with the Kodak carousel from the 50s, like that kind of showed your pictures you took with your camera, and just it was a very well orchestrated scene, just between the music and the light and the dialogue. I like when I paint. I like shows that are very, dialogue based, because you don't need to like be watching them constantly. You just can kind of have them play almost like a radio show in the background. So I listen to a lot of things, and eventually I just kind of run out of things to listen to. Like last year I listened to like 145,000 hours worth of music. Which I assume most of that is either from work or from painting, so a little depressing, but kind of interesting. Yeah, sometimes watching shows when they're not current, you get to avoid especially nowadays, that long period between shows on cliffhangers. Like, I get that it's like supposed to be that way, but I don't know. I was watching one of my favorite shows I watched this year is Pluribus from Apple TV. Really, really great sci-fi show. Really, from the maker of Breaking Bad. It's a really well thought out, well shot show. A bit slow, but kind of intentionally slow. And they finished their season, and it's like going to be like 5 years before season 2. Or Apple TV is just worse at it, even though they make really good shows. Like Severance. I'm just waiting for Severance. We're getting there. Slowly but surely, we are getting there. Bringing up some of these highlights a bit. I was at the store today and they had Kansas City strip steaks for $10. And I just got some, and me and my wife had them for lunch, and they were so good. I was kind of shocked that they were that cheap. It was like a America birthday continuing special or whatever. So they were really good. Good night, Tails. I think if I didn't like painting, cooking would be like my main hobby. Because I'm decent at cooking now, but I'm not like great. But I could definitely see myself being really into it if I wasn't otherwise preoccupied. Blue, I dig it. Yeah, he's gonna become like a white ice dragon. We're doing the underlayer right now. Welcome to the stream, James. I feel like it's been a while. Hope you've been doing all right. Blue is cozy though. It looks like it belongs in Dragon Tales right now. I'll take that as a compliment. There's Org. He's the biggest. My wife told me his name was Orb. I thought it was Org all my life, but she says his name is Orb. There's Orb. He's the biggest. But is it Pure of Heart? I don't remember. Dragon Tales. Dragon Tales. That would have been a good title for this video. I think I forgot to give it a cheeky title. I think I don't know why I give all my live streams a dumb little epithet, but it's just something I do. It's usually just a reason just to sneak in a dumb joke or a vague reference. It's been too long. Take care, James. Thanks for popping in. I don't know if anyone else ever wanted this, but I always wanted the one. I was always waiting for the Dragon Tale episode where like they went back. The dragons came to the human world. Like, I felt like that would have been a good TV movie. And it never happened. Alright. Now we have more underlayering to do. I missed some spots because there's so many curves on our dragon. The thing is, when you paint a lot, the only thing you hate more than painting is not painting. When I paint, all I do is complain about painting. And when I don't paint, all I do is complain about not painting. And this is looking really like it's not very well blended. We're going to be working on that right now. We are just getting where we want the light to be at primarily. Some people call this sketching. I'm just sketching the light here. There was a show called Dragon Tales, yeah, on PBS, like the aughts. It was about some kids that could go to Dragonland and solve like social problems, I guess. I will say this stream is going a lot better than our last sponsored stream. We had so many technical issues. This one is going a lot smoother. We are here in the Heroscape household. We squash bugs on the daily. So much to do in here. happy and upset at the same time. I don't have to paint Krampus. I mean both. Both. that was the joke. More computer bugs. Move into the new studio. Well, while it's been nice, it has had its fair share of just squashing bugs. Today at Pest Control, I'll give some adventures in Pest Control. I knocked down a hornet's nest, and they were angry. And I was like stuck in a corner of a fence, so I had to like just stand there for 5 minutes as they like. I had to stand behind an AC unit that was blowing air, so they would come zipping towards me, but they would get like blown off course from the AC unit, so I didn't get stung like a dozen times. I saw a snake that was probably like 6 foot long at one of the stops I did. Had a big old wolf spider crawl on my hand. Pretty mundane day. And notice with each layer we just brighten this up a little bit, and sometimes when we go too bright we just bring back the previous layer and tone it back down. We're just starting to kind of get this sort of icy feel. I'm hoping this will look really good once we get to the final highlights. See, these wings are a bit hard to do fully just because the angle here. We'll do the best we can. The good thing is not many people are going to be noticing them either. Right now we're just kind of going through and just finding all the areas that we just didn't do on our first time base coating. I think we got a little bit impatient when we were base coating and didn't make sure that we covered all our spots, which is fine. And just start getting some shadows as well. Remember, the key to highlights is that if everything is a highlight, nothing is a highlight. You really want to preserve the depth and the darkness of your shadows as much as possible, because like we were talking about earlier, that contrast is key to making your miniature visible and pop. Let Sonlen sit for a second. Pop her back. so as to be able to move. Working a little stiff here. And I lied, I missed a spot. Definitely always look over your entire model, as it's quite, especially on old Sonlen here, it's quite easy to miss a spot. So turn the model all around. Ideally, if you were responsible, you would do this before moving on to the next layer, so you don't have any weird spots. But you know, live painting, you're gonna see me be a little bit lazy sometimes. I watched Godzilla X-Con New Empires. I think it was kind of inspired by the Shimo design from that movie for this this Sonlen's Dragon here. It's a pretty fun movie. I don't think it's the best Godzilla movie, but it is a fun one. Godzilla -1 or -0 is coming out in November, and that is a movie I'm very much looking forward to. First one had me crying in the theater. Gen Con's coming up. I'm really hoping that we get some good reveals like we did last year. I'm hoping we get just even a couple more cards to look at, to think about. Really, I just want the Boars and the Green Knights. Everything else can kind of wait. I'm sad I couldn't make it this year, but I think we'll be okay. I'm also happy I don't have to worry about going to another con. They're exhausting. So the key with working with white is to avoid using white for as long as possible. At least what the most, if you're building your colors up, is you want white just to be used sparingly. Again, it's everything is a highlight, then nothing is a highlight. Use off-whites or colors similar to white to build it up, and your white won't appear so chalky and flat. It does take a little bit longer. Not going to Gen Con this year, unfortunately not. I would love to, but it's just not in the budget or the time off. I would love for Renegade to like commission me just to be like an on-call like videographer for Gen Con. Just kind of send me over there and I just wake up and document all the events and just do more like that social media type of production for them. Maybe next year I'll try to push for that a bit more. It's never been asked, but I think it's something I would love to do. I actually have a lot of experience. I cut my teeth on documentary filmmaking. So it'd be kind of fun to make a day by day for Renegade. That's kind of my next goal. Me and Renegade have a pretty good working relationship, so maybe we can make that happen. It was really fun actually at ScapeCon. A lot of the Renegade designers and devs were there, so I had really good conversations with Alex and Dylan and William. All designers are OP specialists, respectively. Great people. The game is in good hands. Just talking to them, I like that Alex has come from other games.
They bring a lot of different insight, maybe new mechanics that people may have overlooked or not thought of. And then I think Dylan brings a lot of just love for the classic game. So it's a good combination of people we have working. Heroscape I think is in a really good creative state right now. Honestly, a lot of the stuff they're just hitting home runs with terms of boxes and production and designs. Yeah, Secrets is going to be great. I'm so looking forward to all that stuff. It looks so good. We're finally getting, like, after all these years, like, Age of Annihilation was great. It was fun, but Age of Annihilation had different goals than I think Secrets of the Citadel does. And I think Age of Annihilation did a really good job of bringing the game back in a new, exciting way. But you know, part of the fun of having something come back is the nostalgia, that chance to revisit it, and I think that's what Renegade does really well is nostalgia. They're able to use it in a way that's not like trite or condescending, but also what you want. Like, so I have good things. I'm hoping. Let's see here with them all. This is coming together with these little highlights here. Have I heard about Hasbro? In the broad sense, I have. Are you saying that Hasbro's pretty good at that nostalgia factor? Hasbro's good at milking you dry for your nostalgia. It's not really good at creating new things with that nostalgia, I'd say. Yeah, oh yeah, Hasbro is just... Hasbro has made so many innumerable mistakes over the last 4 years. It's actually baffling. They were at the height of their game during the pandemic. Everyone was playing D&D. Everyone was into their stuff. Magic was at a high. Yeah, they just got greedy. Let's add a little bit of blue tone to this, just to tone it all down a bit. But yeah, Hasbro is just very poorly run. I'm glad we have at least a couple of degrees of separation between Heroscape and Hasbro. Because I honestly think if we had Avalon Hill make the game would not be in production anymore. And this is blue tone from Army Painter. We're just using this just to kind of blend these colors a bit more. Of course, by doing this, we might have to delay the dry brush just for a little bit, as this will probably take a bit to dry. That's why I was so back and forth on it. I didn't know if I wanted to commit, but I think it just needed a bit more shadow and a bit more depth. And also, I just wanted to... Army Painter washes are kind of like, they're different than, like, say, your Citadel or your other brand washes. They act more as a filter, which is both good and bad. The filter effectively kind of screens two colors and it kind of put some more to a similar tone. So, which is what we want to do here. I felt like I just went a little bit too errant with some of my highlights. And I just wanted them to kind of look and go along with some other colors. This is going to give us a really nice, rich tone to go into white with, though. Let's see if we can start at least doing some other parts of the model here while we wait for this to dry. Probably hit this staff right here. Let's go with a dark brown. We'll use like a dark umber from Pro Acryl. Again, if you're wanting to follow along, you can use any colors of your choice. I like using Pro Acryl just because they have very nice coverage. They allow me to get my models done really fast. They're very matte, which is nice if you're building up colors. And they come in twistable dropper bottles, so you don't have to scoop them out of pots. All that to say is I'm not sponsored by Pro Acryl, but I like their paints a lot. I wouldn't recommend it if you're new to painting. They do require a little bit more getting used to, just because of how matte they are. They want to paint the armor, the barding, like a gold to really just kind of contrast with the white we'll be using. And it'll kind of almost just give us just a different look, I'd say, than classic. I'm base coating brown just so the shadows appear a bit deeper for when we apply the gold. I think we'll still use metallic for it. But we'll think about it. Okay, let's use a little bit of dark magenta for the maw. Maybe mixed with a bit of that burnt red we already have on our palette. This might be a bit too purpley, but we'll see. The paint exploded all over me when I opened it. But I wanted it nice and vibrant. You definitely want to hit all those corners of the mouth. I typically just paint the whole thing and layer over the teeth. It's easier than going back and trying to fill this in after you've layered up all the teeth.
Travelers are really gonna like this.
important thing to know about washes and the like is that they do get lighter when they dry. So sometimes they may seem really dark and muddy, and you may just need to wait because look, all these like highlights that we applied were lost, but they are gradually coming back a little bit, which is what we want. All right. Designing that brown as the base coat in case I decide to either keep it brown or layer it up to gold. Let's go with sky blue here, and we will mix this in with our ultramarine blue. Actually, I think I'm just going to keep it unmixed. I want it to be a bit more of a contrast. Yeah, the drive-through is home to many a fun individual. I'm sorry that is happening, if that's where you're at. Let's add another color. We'll get some dark green brown here. Too bad it's a coworker. That makes it tough right there. How often a month do people play Heroscape? Counting online, I play a decent amount. I probably play, if we can count online, I probably play about 10 times a month. If we don't, then I play a lot less because I don't have that many people near me who want to play. Play it once a week and every week 2 times. Jealous. It's like I'm a dragon. I sit atop my hoard of plastic, but I think that's why I go to the cons. It's just like I finally have a chance to play. Got home from playing elves and classic Ular Kyrie. That's pretty fun. I'm hoping we get some more elves and like another elf squad in Heroscape. That's really what the next game I'm looking for. Like we've gotten some of the classic elf hero reprints, but I would love, honestly, like the knight equivalent of elves. Although I would take like elf cavalry. I don't think Ular has a cavalry at this point. Which I think them like writing like, you know, like Fadir or something like that would be kind of cool. Let's see here. Let's get the dry brush out, see if we're ready. I think we're about dry. When you dry brush, you want to use a brush with a big fluffy head. You can use like a makeup brush or, you know, there's a bunch of different ways to do it. I find it helps to have just a small bit of moisture inside your dry brush, just a very nominal amount. Just it allows your applications to be a little less dusty, but you don't want it so that it smears and chalks up the model. Yeah, that's what I was trying to like wrap something like that. Like, I've never played it, but I mean, it's just kind of a mainstay of that, like that archetype of, you know, that the deer riders, or, you know, like I'm glad the dwarves are on boars, but I also wouldn't have minded them being on like big mountain goats. I feel like that would have been more different. I have a fun custom I made a while back for like a Queen of the Elves, as like riding this big moose. I'll have to find that. Alright, let's see if we can get some brighter colors going on our dragon friend here. Alright, let's get some gray blue. Let's bring that color back up here. Let's see if I can find a dry palettes anywhere. or if it has been lost to time. Oh, here it is. I'm gonna load up the brush and remove the excess. Paper towel isn't always the best option, but it's the most immediate one I have on hand here. And always start on a less noticeable part of the model. And you want to go against the grain. Just a little. And with dry brushing, you can always add multiple layers just to brighten up a bit. Alright, now let's go to this white blue here. And we're going to cover less surface area with this one. Focusing mainly on the outermost ridges and pretty much the place where the light would collect. We do this because this technique catches the raised surfaces. So now we don't have to outline every single scale to have it catch light. Let's do another pass of this, and then we'll probably go to more, mix a little bit of white into this to really make it catch. Still want a snowman hero? Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. The abominable snowman. If you could work with a Zute, that'd be fun too. Make him a champion that follows Jandar so he works with the Frost Claws too. Just make him have all the Jandar synergies. Alright, now we're going to use some Brain Matter Beige, I think, just for a warm tone, to really kind of separate this from the colors beneath it. You know what I hope we get is some kind of hunter bonding. We really need that. Hunter bonding. I want some bonding for wardens. feel like we have a couple wardens, at least in official scape. I just kind of feel like they need more usage. This is looking pretty cool, pun intended. Let's get a little bit of. Now we're just going to do white very lightly as our final step here. You're going to use this sparingly. So we've preserved these shadows with our underpainting. And we might tone some of these parts down just to bring some of these shadows up, but we're looking pretty good at this point here. We're getting there. We'll have to do some touch-ups and some remedial highlights, but we're getting to a really good spot for this dragon here. Let's see if we can add just a little bit more white, just to the like so very bright white to the last areas, if I can find where that is. All right, we're gonna use some bold titanium white. If you have to buy one pro acryl paint, buy bold titanium white. It is a smooth, beautiful, vibrant, bright white. And we're going to go with a smaller brush here. Also, when you're done using a dry brush, use brush soap. You can really clean out your brush a lot better here. And you won't have to keep on buying dry brushes because we're getting that paint all up in the bristle there. Snow elemental would be really cool. Have them throw snowballs, sled down hills. I still would like to see that penguin with this machine gun. They could be a matching pair. Alright. And so this is the same as layering. We're just building up colors. We're just letting the brush do all the work for us. It just catches the texture. Okay. We're gonna have to go through, clean this up a bit. We can take some of that thin down dark tone we're using, just Refill some of the shadows that maybe we want to darken.
Basically, this is the best drawing ever.
It's a blue-black Lego TV show. That sounds like everything would be awesome if we did that. Oh, from the Lego Ninjago TV show. I'm sorry that you said the movie. My sister was really into that. I never saw it. I heard it was pretty. I heard it had surprisingly in-depth story for considering it was a Lego TV show. All right. Well, we're gonna let this sit for a bit. But I think we really made some pretty cool progress today. I think we got pretty much the base layer done. We just got the detail work to do. And Sonlen to paint, but I'm pretty happy. I'm gonna let this sit and dry, and we'll go back and probably paint all his details on our own time. I say as I immediately get distracted and start painting more. It's tradition now at this point. Do I make his horns more like just a standard bone color, or do I keep them the bright blue to kind of tie it in with the back? I think we'll see how this looks. Yeah, I think we can make that look kind of cool. Yeah, I'm liking this. Thank you. Yeah, it's coming along. We're figuring them out. I have to figure out. I think I'm gonna have to do something dark for Sonlen's body up there. Probably mainly like browns and blacks behind that blue, just to really give it some of that more contrast we like here. Contrast, contrast, contrast. That's all I talk about. This dark turquoise I'm using is a really good orc flesh tone. It's one of the best just pre-mixed I've found so far. And thank you, Rocker the Scaper, for the compliment, by the way. I didn't want to dismiss that. Sometimes when I get compliments, I just kind of try to make jokes instead of acknowledging them. So, no, I do appreciate it. He has a lot of little tiny auxiliary claws. Something different. If you have this Sonlen, it'll definitely be the... I haven't seen one like this out in the field, which will be nice. bring the turquoise down to a staff just to tie it in. Yeah, we're getting there. Shadow's a good mini to get started on. Despite the hard angles, I mean, there's lots of fun things you can do with them. Did you paint them classic style, or did you give them your own spin? Yeah, if you're painting the model like this, definitely do the scales first before you move on to the the mouth areas and such. You get a little impatient and maybe jumped ahead, so I have to go back and redo those. That's fine. What color should his eyes be? Painted mostly classic. I got too nervous to fully commit my own spin, so I usually go mostly classic with some tweaks to make it my own. Now that's a very good way of going about it. Honestly, say what you will about having the like the artwork on the Heroscape cards, but looking at that gives you a lot of reference points for light and where to put the colors. Like, it's almost better than just having the picture of the pre-painted model, because you get a little bit of like that artistic interpretation that you can apply when you paint your own models. Yeah, sometimes there's like two different brains that you have to have. One is like there's when you copy colors and when you have to think of your own scheme. Like, both are satisfying, but they just kind of exercise different parts of the brain. And sometimes people feel more comfortable with the like the copy and the colors, and sometimes it's hard for them to follow something that already exists. I don't know where I stand. I think I like if someone gives me an idea, like Nikatha gave me a frequent chatter here on the streams. Gave me the idea for a IC version. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. But I probably would have just painted this normal style, unless someone gave me like the inspiration. do a blue with glow. Blue's a harder color to get glowing. I'm thinking maybe I'll do... So yellow would be... Green would be easy. I guess I could do a different blue tied into Sonlen's cloak, just visually. Let's see if we can do that. Let's get a... what do I want to do here? I could do like a purpley almost. Thinking out loud. We could do a blue. Blue probably would look good. We'll start with a dark purple, and then we'll work our way up to more of a brighter blue. Just so it is different then. So first, let's put this area back down to black, so we just have that nice shadow. Looks pretty scary with those black hollow eyes, I'm not gonna lie. While we're at it, let's add some lines too small. To really make it pop out more. Do a Godzilla color. Ooh. Like Godzilla's purple spines. He does have blue spines sometimes too. There's just too many Godzillas. Are you talking Heisei Godzilla, Toho Godzilla, Showa era Godzilla, Millennia Godzilla? Which Godzilla are you talking about here? And we're using this dark purple for some shading on the cloak area. Remember, purple is just half blue. We'll probably bring this back up just a little bit. Godzilla for -1. Oh, the blue. Oh, here's my uke. I'll save this for when I make an apology video. Okay. Sorry, I had ADHD. ADHD moment right there. Um, I'm out of that yellow ochre. Alright, let's use a little bit of yellow ochre now. I'm probably just going to go over this with gold. I don't think I'm going to do full non-metallic metal, but sometimes it helps just to sketch it out. I mainly just want to spend all the time on it. So let's get the teeth going while we're at it. Let's get a nice drab brown and build from there. And using a fine tip brush, we are just going to pick out these teeth right here. Okay, just mixing a bit of that white blue. You can pick out the horn details. It's very thematic for summer too, to make the chilliest boy. We get a little bit of dark hot pink. And maybe let's do normal magenta. I want to do dark hot pink as the final highlight. We'll mix it slightly with the dark magenta. Tone this down just a bit. And we'll just mix a bit of white into this turquoise we're using. Alright, and let's get a bit of bone color on these teeth. Let's go now to dark ivory. I'm not talking much in this part as I am focused on very small teeth right at the moment. With teeth, you want to look at them from all angles and make sure these highlights fully are shown properly and you're not missing any big spots. Sorry, keep eyeing the camera. Definitely look in the inside of the teeth as well. And let's just get a little bit of pink on the tongue. Let's go. How's it doing, Skateboard? Hope you're doing well today. Okay, we are getting there slowly but surely. Okay, let's just a little bit more brightness to the eye.
Pablo's really gonna like this.
Fun news, there was a grown black bear roaming downtown say this past weekend. He was just looking for a valiant or relentless figure to bond with, I think. I'm going back to California, home of the Bears. Maybe I'll bring one home. Okay, we're just doing our last bits of highlighting. I'm not very communicative right now. I apologize about that. I am a little bit focused on trying not to ruin everything I've done so far. Usually I stop the stream at this point, but today I felt, let's have a little bit of the detail work. Let's do a little bit more than base coating. And we took this white mixed with this turquoise, and it really is an easy way to add like a bit of a frosty effect to things. I'm gonna have to fix these feet up. I kind of ignored them. Fun fact, I hate doing like feet. I always try to just cover them with flocking if I can. By the time I get to the feet, I have just stopped caring. Okay, and let's see if we can get a dragon eye going. There we go, just a single line. It almost looks like Glalie from Pokemon. I like that. This one is definitely a lot more edgy than the original design. No blacklining, just and then some of the spaces to make them seem more separate. Okay. Let's add one more highlight on this chin. Oh, let's see. That was oil bad. We can fix it. Sometimes you put paint on, you can use your finger to wipe it off if it just was a bit too heavy. That instance, we overdid it a bit. Alright, I call it for tonight. I'm starting to get a little sloppy in my painting, and that means I need to take a break. And also, I'm kind of thirsty. So I think this is a decent place to finish. A nice winter dragon for the summer heat. We're definitely going to be keep on fine tuning it. We're going to be adding some drool and finishing up Sonlen just using some basic colors. Did you notice I started to do some non-metallic metal? I probably just do true metallic metal just because I honestly don't want to pinpoint it all. But this is a really fun model to get finished. Again, just let me thanks to Wargame Trader for sponsoring this stream. It's been over Sonlen for me to paint. Just want to remind you again that Wargame Trader is a marketplace like eBay. It's specialized for war games like Heroscape. Once this figure is finished and listed, you'll be able to find it on that website, wargametrader.com. And Halushia will also be available, who I painted 2 streams ago. And just I've used Wargame Trader myself to sell pre-painted minis, and it's been cool seeing more Heroscape players, artists, and stores using it too. If you're looking to buy or sell Heroscape figures, painted minis, replacement pieces, or other tabletop models, check out wargametrader.com. And let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to DM me about it. That all said, thanks again to Wargame Trader. Check out their website, link in the description. And I think we're going to call it for tonight. This time for real. I'll be posting photos of finished Vesla and Sonlen. I'm honestly really loving the look of them so far, and we're just going to keep on doing that boring fine-tuned stuff where it's just very incrementally just adding little bits of color, fixing things, and getting them to a more finished state. Thanks everyone for watching, giving me company on our first Monday stream. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't, so you can stay up to date on all the Heroscape goodness I provide. And we got new stuff coming out. It's going to be a busy next couple months as we are entering back into production season, and we got some videos ready to get finished. But either way, tune in live for my streaming and my painting every Thursday, and sometimes Mondays now. And I really just thank you all for listening and giving me company. You make painting fun, and you make doing all this worthwhile. And you all take care. Bye!